everybody, it is Kendell Lenice, and welcome to Kendell Lenice Live right here on YouTube. I don't know how you found me, but I am glad you did. Do me a favor before we go into this show and subscribe below. It's so important that you do that with great content like this. And I say great content like this because my guests make this show great. And my main purpose always is to educate, elevate, and entertain you, and to change the narrative with Black folks. Because when you go on social media, sometimes you see us in a light, you see us in a different light on reality TV and on the news. So I want to bring the positivity to you, to let you know that we are layered, we are multi-layered individuals. So all of my guests are amazing at what they do and the things that they have to offer you. So that's why I bring them to you on Kendell Lenice Live. So my guest today is no different. If you've listened to my podcast, Shine with Kendell Lenice, or you've watched right here on this channel, the forum I had with Black men, he was a part of that, a great part of that forum. So if you go back and look at that, and then you'll be able to recognize my next guest. So my guest is Swann. And before we get started, I just want to read a quick bio about Mr. Will. All right. Deizal is an artist from Baltimore, Maryland. He takes pride in being able to make music for people with different backgrounds. You can hear his versatility on songs like Resurrection and Come Back Love, which are drastically different. Right now, Deizal is working on his fourth studio album, Versatility, and it says verse, like a verse in a song, Tility, which is scheduled to drop in the summer of 2020. So that's soon, y'all. Look for it. The first single, titled Come Back Love, is now available. So I said Will Swann because that is his government name, but he goes by Deizal. Welcome to Kendell Lenice Live.
How you doing? Thanks for having me. Appreciate you.
Deizal. So what's good, Deizal?
Nothing much. Maintaining, blessed, in spite of everything that's going on right now. God has had his unchanging hand covering me and my family. So it's just a beautiful thing. Just to sit back on that, just that fact right there, it's a beautiful thing. So, yep.
Yeah, and also that you have music dropping during quarantine, during COVID-19. I think that's pretty dope because that's what I always try to tell people to do. And even this last podcast episode of mine on Shine, I talked about 10 things to do while you're at home and while you're quarantining. And I understand that you're still at work. But during this time, so many people feel defeated. So many people feel like their chances have gone by. We're going to cancel 2020 because it's just been a mess and all of this. I hear people saying that. But I personally think it's a great time to create. So what's going on with you? Because it sounds like that's how you feel too.
Yeah, so this whole pandemic to me is basically showing how versatile you are. Always bringing out gifts that you did not know that you had.
That's right.
So it's a beautiful thing if you look at it that way. If you just change your perspective, then you will see things like that. So yeah, I shot my first video ever. Like I've never shot a video in my life, and I shot my first video ever during this pandemic. And I don't think it would have happened if the pandemic wasn't going on because I would have been too busy doing other things. You know what I mean? But I feel like God slowed us down on purpose. I think he just wanted us to understand that it's about relationship with him and relationship with the people who he has put around us. So that's what I'm getting. I'm getting that out of this this whole pandemic. So basically the first two commandments: love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and then love your neighbor as yourself.
See, and I feel the same way. To me, I have become more. I'm already creative as you are, but I have been doing so many different things and using my creativity that God has blessed me with. My husband always teases me. He was like, "You are not right." He said he gave all those gifts to you, and some people ain't got one, and you got all of these gifts. And he teases me all the time. He's like, and the only gift that I don't have is singing. And he was like, God knew not to give that one to you because you would have kept singing. Yeah. But I started creating art. This is one of the little pieces I did. It's just a KL, but just a lot of different art. And I also started, I already have my YouTube channel, but I started this series, Kendell Lenice Live, during quarantine and so many other things. So I totally agree with you. Had it not been for quarantine and this happening, maybe I wouldn't even be talking to you in this space because of that. And I know you started talking about the video. I was going to work my way up to that dopeness, but since you brought it up, man, that resurrection video was super, super, super dope. I was so impressed. I was like, I know him. This was amazing. It really was. And I'm not just gassing you up. I truly mean that. I'm not. And what was more impressive, not only that it was your first video, as you said, but you shot this video around Baltimore, around Maryland. I was like, you shot this? So let's talk about that and the concept and some of the places that you decided to shoot in.
Yeah. So I knew that the video, like when you hear it, I knew that it had to be a big video. I don't have a big budget. You know what I mean? I don't have a budget to where I could be diving out of helicopters and all these different things. I was going to people. I was actually going to videographers asking like, hey, what do you think? What do you see? And these guys like, let's go to the Grand Canyon. And I'm like, I don't have the Grand Canyon money, man. Pretty much anyone that I spoke with about the video, they either didn't have a vision, because I didn't have a vision for it at all. I just had a vision for the song. I wrote the song and that was it. But I did not have a vision to, as far as like a video. So every time I would go to someone, it was either too expensive or they didn't have a vision either. They didn't have a vision. And finally, I broke down and I talked to two of my guys. And one of my guys said, hey, I think you should do this. And when he said, hey, do this, I said, okay, I'll it was a mirror scene. One of my guys said, hey, do the mirror scene. And so I said, okay, so I can go with that. But man.
So, okay, let's pause right there. Because that mirror scene where you rapping to yourself and then it's different and it looked like different people, I was like, I need to figure out how he did that because I got to do some of that dopeness. So you filmed that because I saw it was in your bathroom.
Yep.
You filmed that.
Yes.
So why did you want to do that scene? Why was it important? And how did you do that? Because right now, I'm going to tell you right now, I was going to call you your government name. We calling you Deizal. But right now, there is a young person, an older person, somebody aspiring to do a video, not only to write the song as you did, but to have the visual also. But they've been told it's a lot of money. They're not sure if they can do it. So help that person right now. So why did you come up with that concept, which was dope? And we're talking about it now because I want everybody to see this video. And we'll tell you how to see that towards the end. But how did you do that mirror scene and what made you do that?
So one of my guys said, hey man, I see you rapping in front of a mirror. So I thought about, so the first few lines are basically, everything I see is so fake, I can't tell the difference anymore. You know, so I'm like, oh, wow. So maybe if I had myself rapping and like reacting to my rap, then people would like, it would really blow people's minds if they saw that it's really me battling the inner me. That's what that scene is about. Me battling the inner me. You know what I mean? But all it is a masking technique. So I had to record it twice. But I had to be in the same spot. I couldn't move. If I wasn't in the same spot, then it would be off.
But what did you use? Like, did you use an app? Did you use, what did you do?
No, so you video it twice, and if you have any type of software that has any type of masking effect, that is where, how can I put it? Like, I would have to show you, but any type of software that has a masking effect, you can do that. Like, you can wipe out stuff in the background. So that's basically yeah. But you have to stay still. Like you can't have too much movement because you have to stay in the same spot that you were in on the previous recording. I had to, that's recorded twice. Yeah.
That's it?
Yes.
I'm telling you, I'm as you're talking, I'm pulling up the video because I'm gonna play a snip of the song. But as you're talking, I'm like, you only did that twice, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait to the show because I got so many questions with all of this, you know, this dopeness. That's the word of the day, dope. Because I'm telling you, not only we're not even getting into the way that you flow in your lyrics. We're not even, I'm going to talk about that later. We're just already in the beginning. We're talking about this video.
Yeah. So I knew that I knew that I had to catch people. I had to get them within the first 10, 15 seconds or they won't watch. You know, the attention span is really quick for people. So within the first 15 seconds, I had to get people with that. And I think I've accomplished what I set out to do. But that was the only thing that I had pre-planned. Everything else, like, so that's the first 15 seconds of the video. After that, I pretty much was in the spirit, like the Holy Spirit was telling me to do certain things. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. Like it's pretty much, it was all done, man. I'm telling you, it's like a miracle. You know, not like a miracle. It was a miracle that video came out the way that it did. And that I never shot a video. I didn't go to school for this. Just so many different things that could have went wrong, but did not go wrong. They went right, including the editing process. Like, I'm not a video editor. Like,
okay, all right. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So you filmed it. You came up with the concept, and you edited it too.
Yes, I did everything.
Okay.
Every single thing, I did everything.
So you decided on the locations, which we'll talk about some of the different locations you did, which I thought brilliant. And showing the city and showing the state and where you are now, brilliant. Use some great locations. And as a photographer, I love locations. I love outside. I love capturing certain elements of outside, and you did that very, very well, I must say. But so you set up the camera, maybe did somebody help you with the camera? What? No, I was like, okay, I know he said he did it by himself, but somebody had to be holding the camera, possibly. All right, so let's talk about that process.
So the thing about it is, I have a drone. So that's how I got all these aerial shots and still shots, because I have a drone. It's a very good drone. But I didn't have a tripod, any of that stuff. I shot everything with a drone, everything. Everything with a drone.
So you know I'm about to barter with you some services. I'll be like, well, you know, maybe we can barter on some things. Yeah. Because I'm looking and I see one part. It was at the tennis court. I know right at the school where you did at Nuncio, right? Okay, because when I saw that and I'm looking at it now, I was like, I gotta show this. All right. So, okay, I'm looking at this video, y'all. And that's how, with the drone, because I'm like, how did he get over the water? So for those that don't know, like myself, I know what a drone is. I know how they work. But was it remote control? Like, how did you get it over the water? Yeah. And when you guys see the video, you'll see exactly what I mean. And you'll be super impressed to know that he did this with no experience. So, and that's why I want to encourage people to say, you know, if you have a dream, if there's something that you want to do, God instilled you what you need. You just have to do it. You just have to try to do it at least, and you will be surprised how well whatever that is turns out for you. Yeah. Right, Will?
Yeah, you have all the tools that you need. I tried my best to find videographers. I tried my best. It was one guy that I said, okay, we're going to do this. And he said, all right, let's sit down and talk about it. So that's one of the things I didn't want to do, because when I sent my video out to him, I was expecting him to have something in mind already. But he said, you know, let's sit down and sketch on a board. And I'm not the type, even when I go into a studio, I'm not the type of guy that goes into a studio and sits down. I like to go in, get it done, and get out. So every time I would try to pay this guy, something would come up. I'm
Wow,
like,
because he wasn't
something
meant
would
to
come
do
out
it.
because
He
he
wasn't
wasn't
meant
meant
to
to do
do
it.
it.
He wasn't meant to do it. So
Because God
honestly,
had to show you what he gave you.
yeah, yeah,
And you had to trust and believe not only in him, but yourself.
yeah,
Because if
yeah.
this is your dream, if this is something that you wanted to do,
Mm-hmm.
you were going to get it done.
Yeah.
You were going to get it done without the money that somebody else, because honestly, if somebody else had done it and had their storyboard and their vision, it wouldn't be as good as it is. I can guarantee that.
It wouldn't be. And it's a beautiful thing that God can do that, man. God could do so many amazing things. Like, take a guy who has never shot a video in his life, and I created that, and now I'm at almost at 30,000 views in like 3
That's
weeks.
crazy. Now,
Yeah.
this is my old iPad. It's kind of broken, so don't judge it. But this scene right here,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, what?
So do you know what that is?
Is this Pataxico or?
That is the Liberty Dam Reservoir.
Okay, and I was going to ask you because that was my first thing, because as a photographer, I can't even tell you how many pictures I've taken out there. Yeah. But I know it was closed at a certain point. So that's why I said, well, maybe because of quarantine. But I have taken pictures. This is like, so you set it up. So tell me how. Now, you guys, I know, don't judge this iPad, but look at that.
Yeah. So the drone is actually sitting on a rock behind me. And I said, and it's actually like 15 to 20 people around. 15 to 20 people around that you can't see because they're like behind the drone. And I said, whoa, well, the spirit said to me, hey, go stand so you can get the depth of how big this waterfall is compared to your body. So people could see how big and how magnificent that waterfall is. It was just stuff like that happening the whole time when I'm walking on the
trail. And you just rolling by yourself with the drone and a phone.
And a phone. A drone and a phone.
A drone and a phone.
And I would hear the spirit say, hey, like at the end, well, once you get to the end of the video, I'm actually standing on a rock that's probably like 15 feet in the air. And I back it and I make the drone go in reverse so people can see the depth of where I am, But it was God saying to me, hey, look at this rock, stand on this rock and just video yourself on this rock. I'm telling you, I'm not that good. I'm not.
Let me tell you. So we're gonna have a meeting and you're gonna show me this drone, because I got to. I'm telling you, and the whole time I was watching, and I'm not gassing you up, and because I remember I told you when I saw you, I started watching it and I hadn't finished. I just got through a little bit. And then when I saw you outside, I said, and then you told me, you said, I did it by myself. And then I went to, and I was impressed. I was totally impressed. And here, I don't want to give it all away, but here's the bathroom scene we were talking about. Just amazing. So with the aerial shots of the highway, where did you set the drone?
So with the aerial shots, I'm flying the drone. It's just an editing technique. I'm not in that shot, but I'm flying the drone with the remote control. I'm like, okay, this will look good.
You're out. So you're not in a car. You're outside and you're flying the drone.
Yep, and that's right next to Quarry Place Lake.
I thought so.
Yep.
I can go there all the time too. Let me tell you, it was almost like a game. It was almost like a game. I was like, oh, he's right there. Oh.
Yeah.
I was doing it, and I'm just like, and you guys have to look at the video for yourself. And again, we'll tell you what that is. But just all of these amazing shots. Amazing.
So what I wanted to do was,
after you did, go ahead.
What I wanted to do was, I didn't have a board, but I knew that I didn't want to make just a normal video where guys are like, no shade to anyone, okay? No shade to anyone, but where guys are like counting money and doing these things that become that you see them all the time. Like, I just wanted to do something that was different, and God knew that. So I said, God, I want to do something different. I don't know exactly what that different is, but I do want to do something different. I want to have something that will last. You know what I mean? Where people won't forget it. And hopefully that's what's happening now.
Let me tell you, and this is one of my other, just look at this. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like,
oh man.
you,
you know,
you're out here by yourself.
Yeah, and you showing me that stuff, or me looking is like, yo, I made that. Like I spoke to my wife the other night, and I said, I can't, because it finally hit me. Like when people see it and I see how people react to it, I can't believe it, because so many things could have went wrong, but did not. They didn't go wrong.
Because it was meant you to do that, to restore your faith in you and how dope you are.
Yeah,
that's what I want to know. When you show your wife this video, no, first let me ask you, did she see the process or did she just see the final product?
She saw the final product.
So what did she, she's like, what? When? Well, how? Well, when did you, like, what did she say?
My wife started crying.
I bet.
She had tears coming. She was.
I believe it.
And my wife is one of my wife, like, she pretty much like expects like perfection from me. I guess she could see, I guess she sees a lot in me. You know what I mean?
She knows who she married. She knows who she married.
And so when she saw that, not boo-hoo crying, but like tears of like, I can't believe that you did this. And that's when it hit me, because as an artist, you think but you really don't know until you push it out into the, into the masses in the community. So when that hit her like that, I was like, oh, I got something. I was like, oh, I got something. Because she's not easily moved. Yeah, she's not easily
I'm
moved.
telling you, as my little brother, I was like, man, I was smiling the whole time. I was smiling and I was just like, wow, because it hit differently when you said, I did this myself. So even you saying that, and then I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, I get it. He did it himself. But somebody was holding a camera, somebody was hot. And then I was like, well, how did he get in a drone? I know what a drone is, but it never came to my mind. And I was like, but somebody had to have been up there. How did he, what? Because that's how amazing it is. Because sometimes, and with this technology, it's just so just powerful what you can really do on your own. And because sometimes people don't use quality things, or they don't do things with quality and standard, sometimes some stuff looks like you did it yourself.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But this didn't look like you did it yourself. And people are probably like, Kendell, you are gassing him up. And I'm not, like, legitimate. If you know me, I don't blow smoke. I don't tell lies. I'm like straight up. I'm going to tell you if it's good, or I'm going to tell you if it's not. That's just who I am. And at 49, I earned the right, I feel, to be that way. You have. But I'm serious though. Like I'm serious. And then I'm going to show the whole dang video. But look, just powerful. Powerful.
Yeah. So it's amazing. It's amazing to me. Like YouTube has analytics. They basically say, who's watching the video and what's the watch rate. And my watch rate, my click rate is at like 52%. So every time 2 people see my video, 1 person clicks on it. I'm like, that's crazy. So it's a 50% click rate. And I also have like it's almost a 2-minute watch rate. And the average video on YouTube is like, they watch it for about 1 minute and 20 seconds, something like that. So it's like, man, it's
wow. So they're going longer. They're going beyond what people look at when they look at YouTube, because let's keep it real. People's attention spans are not what they used to be, especially in this time of hurry up and wait and quick and microwave and let me just be in and out. Let me bop, bop, bop. People are not sitting for a long time looking at things. And I said, okay, he had to have new psalmists in there. I said, all right. I said, I know he had that. I said, because that church has been good to him. And I'm just looking, and you with a backpack, a drone, and a phone.
No wardrobe. I got
but
reading
that's
shirts.
just try shirt.
Yeah, just try gifted. So those shirts are 3 of my guys who have helped me get to where I am now, as far as spiritually. Yeah.
I'm sorry, y'all, but this right here, where were you?
So that's the Laney Valley Road. It's a bridge on the Laney Valley Road, and the angle of the shot makes it look like I'm just somewhere else. It's all about angles, and I'm figuring that out. Like, it's all about angles. And also, to anyone who's inspiring to shoot a video or take pictures, especially with the video, I think you should, while you're editing the video, make sure that you're editing with music. If you edit with music, it will tell you where to cut and paste. It will tell you, because I need to cut on this low tone, I need to cut on this high tone. But then it all meshes together. So that's probably one of the best things that that God gave me, is edit with music. Edit when the beat does this, when the beat does boop, 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 make sure, like, do your edits like that. Boop, 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 have it 5 shots. Boop,
you sound like Luther a little bit. That's what it sounds like. But okay, so I got so many questions for you. I didn't need to write anything down, and I typically don't, because I like to have genuine conversation. Even y'all, I said I wasn't going to tell Will what I thought about the video, other than it was dope before we got here, because I wanted him to see, and I wanted you guys to see my true reactions and what I thought about this video. So one question I have is, did you, as you were waking up that morning, first, how long it took you to shoot all the shots? How many days did you take? Second, did you know where you were going, where you were headed when you left out the house?
So I got to give it to God again. Just got to give God
That's all right.
So I knew that I wanted to get like good scenery. I did know that. So I started looking up at not dams, but like hikes, like hiking trails. I started looking at hiking trails, and depending on, I knew I wanted to get a waterfall. I did know that. So I just started looking for trails with waterfalls, and I started doing things like that. And once I got to these trails, because I've never been a trail walker, I've never walked a trail in my life. So when I got to these trails, I'm like, oh my, this is going to be something. Like, so I'm walking 2-3 miles into these trails, and I'm seeing things like openings that it looks like it's almost like you're in Oz, stuff like that. So it's all these beautiful trails that I'm walking on, and I'm like, wow, man, this is going to be something else. So it took me 3 days to shoot it, because I pretty much, that video was 1, 2, 3 trails in that Laney Valley Road bridge.
And where is this?
That's the Laney Valley Road.
That's the same one?
Yep. That's just a different angle.
Okay. I was going to ask you, was that the same one? Okay.
Yeah, that's a different angle. But yeah, and it took me probably about a whole day to edit everything, because now I'm a perfectionist on certain things. I'm a perfectionist. So at one point in time, I finished all my editing, and then I said, oh no, this will go better right here. But when you do that, it's a trickle down effect, and it knocks everything out of proportion.
You got to change,
pretty much start everything over again. But yeah, it took me about a day to edit it.
Yeah, editing, people don't realize editing is no joke. Even when I do this show, and I put the little tags in there, if you've seen my channel, I put the little tags, and I go through the video and watch it several times and add different things. And uploading takes forever. All the little things behind the scene. People see the finished product, but they don't see how much time you invest in your craft. People just see it fast. So I think it's, that's very interesting that people's attention span a minute and 20 seconds, when it might take you 2 days or 3 days to do something, that people are watching a minute and 20 seconds on average. Now, we know some people have watched the video in its entirety time and time again. I know I did. But, and I think that that says a lot that you said that they even went beyond the 120 for you and did 2 minutes, you know, and that's a lot. And that would be 2 minutes at that time. That same person could have come back to complete that video, watching that. So you had no idea where you were going. God led you to the locations. You knew overall kind of what you wanted it to look like. So when you edited the video and you had to slice it and dice it and put it together, I know that that's a lot of work. How was it getting your lyrics? Because they're different shots. So you have the lyric that has to be cohesive through the whole video. How were you able to teach yourself how to do that? Because that's not easy.
So pretty much at every scene, I did from like hook to like first hook to end hook. So I did the whole song pretty much at every single location I was at. So I could say, okay, let me take this part from here. Let me take this. So it was more about me just making sure I performed the whole thing at every site where I was. And I know a lot of people look, because there was people at these sites and they're looking at me like, what is he doing?
But you know what? So many people are used to people with cameras now. They might double take and they'd be like, oh, he's probably on Instagram or he's probably, you know, but people look at first, because sometimes even when I'm doing my videos and I started a vlog too, you look at first and after a while, you don't even see those people.
So that's what I did, man. But like I said, so the more footage you have, it's easy to mess up. You know what I mean? So to me, it's just pretty much a miracle, man, that happened. Like I was able to have all this footage, because I still have more. Like I could do a resurrection part 2, like if I wanted to. Like I have a lot of
a re-resurrection.
I could. You know, the biggest thing with me was after I finished watching it over and over again to make sure that the edit was right. So that's what took me the longest. Like I'm sitting there this whole time.
Because you wanted quality. You wanted quality. You didn't want it to look like you put it together. You wanted it to look like it looks. It looks professional. So how many locations did you go to?
I think five, maybe six different locations. So 3 different churches. Because I grew up Catholic, but now I'm in a Baptist church. I wanted to make the whole video was about me growing, you know, but I did not want to X certain things out of my growth. So I wanted to get my Catholic church in on, like, I used to go to this church and it helped me get to this. Now I'm at this church now, and helped to get me to this point. So resurrection is all about growth. And if you really look at the video, that's what it really was about, like a progression, you know. And now at the end, I'm who I am. I'm the guy you see right now. And it's only through Christ Jesus that I'm who I am, you know. But I did it in a way. I think that God has me doing this because he wants me to be a bridge between like the streets and the church. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of guys and females may not feel like people like who are saved are approachable, because maybe they feel like we just born this way, but we actually came from where they came. You know, so
you gotta see the journey. You're trying to show them the journey.
Yeah, that I'm not some superhero. I'm not. This just didn't happen overnight. I'm just like you. And that's what the resurrection is about.
It's so good. And I want to talk. I'm gonna just a little bit more about the video, and then I'm going to talk about the lyrics. So your children are a big part of your life. You have 3 or 4.
3.
Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. I'm not giving him a 4th child yet.
Please don't. Especially not now. Not now.
But okay, so, and I know your family, but I want to talk about your children specifically. We talked about your wife because you are a family man. Every time I have you on, I like to talk about your family because this show is really about bursting myths about Black folks, because people think that the marriages can't last, the Black father is not sticking and staying. So it's so important to me, no matter what I'm talking about with someone, especially you, to bring up the family component, because we are multi-layered. It's not just about the music. It's not just about church. It's not just about work. You know, family is important to you. So when your family, how was that, you know, with your children seeing your video? Did you say, okay, sit down, y'all, sit down, wife, I got something to show you? Like, how did they see this?
So my children are so nonchalant.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
So nonchalant. So my daughter, who is 11, she said, I know how you did that trick, you know, the mirror trick. I know how you did that. I'm not going to tell you how I know how you did. I know how you did that. Then my son, my baby boy, said the same thing. He was like, man, that was fake. That's not you. You know what I mean? Just shooting me down, man. I'm like, my kids are just
that's your kids. Yeah.
My kids. Now my oldest son was like, you know what? And he kind of helps me gauge if I'm still a cool dad or not.
How old is he?
He's 19.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, that was cool. You know what I mean? So
and
I'm
that's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Because they don't move. They're very nonchalant. Yeah. If it's not Roblox in Fortnite, you're not getting a rise out of it.
I find out how dope I am on my birthday and on Mother's Day. Like when they write all of this and you doing this and you helping people, I'm like, oh, okay. Because you at the end of the day are just their parent. So they see you differently than other people, you know, see you. They see you just unveiled in a sense. It's a difference.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't want to be that old parent though. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, like when you know my grandmother. Yeah. I don't want to be that guy. Like, so I hope that they check me. Like, hey, dad, like it's not cool to wear that with that. You know what I mean?
Oh, they will.
I want to be checked. You know?
Yeah, my daughters will check me in a minute. Yeah. They be like, nope, and I love that because they ain't gonna have me looking like auntie. Yeah. You know,
because you know we from a different era. Like we are like that. You know, match with your shoes and like we just you know we.
Like the belt goes with the shoes, the belt,
and it's that's not cool anymore, man.
No,
you know,
it's not cool to be matchy.
No, it's not.
Like stripes go with polka dots and plaids, and you gotta hook it up. Right.
It's more about being an individual now. You know what I mean? Everyone doesn't look the same. You know, it's crazy thing. When my kids,
it's about freedom. It's about freedom, just to wear what you want. You know, do what you want, and really be unapologetic for who you are. Like that's cool and that's super dope. You know, it's not about checking the boxes anymore. It's not about walking a straight line. And as a life coach, but even as a parent, it was never important for me to literally, you know, have your children with a coloring book to color in the lines. Because you're teaching them restraint right there. You're teaching them to hold back their creativity and to do things like conform. You know what I mean? Don't wait a minute. That's not nice. That's not cute because you went outside the lines. Like you colored outside the lines. So they grow up thinking, okay, I have to stay within this box. I have to stay within these lines. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But when you color a picture and if it's all over the place, then you fortify that imagination and that artist, if you will, in them, and you give them a sense of freedom. Because if you start trying to conform them, then that's how they're going to grow. And then maybe when they become 30 and 40, they'll be like, I hate this life that I carved out for myself because I always did this, I always did that. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think sometimes we kind of shrink that creativity and have to do things. But nowadays, children are in millennials and Generation Zs, they're doing it. They are doing it. And we need to learn from them, like for real.
I respect it too, man. Like this is that generation that's unapologetic, like you said. They don't take no for an answer. Yeah. Like I appreciate them. Like as far as like all the protesting that's going on, you've never seen protesting this long.
No.
You know what I mean? Because they have like this defiant they're not going for it. They're not just taking no for an answer.
No.
That's not what they do.
They're doing things for themselves. They're not waiting for people. They're not waiting to be hired at a company. They're creating their own company. They're not waiting, just like what you're doing. These young people are not waiting for somebody to hire somebody to do this for them. They are up at night creating things. They are making things happen. And that's what I want to inspire everyone to do. And this is why I wanted to have this show to not only spotlight Deizal as an artist, but to show you that he is doing it for himself. He said God told him to do this. God told him to do that. And God already puts in you, he instills in you what you already need. You just have to activate it, you know? So would you say that you are activated now?
I think so. I think so. Like God has me so versatile. And I did not know that that's like so versatility, which is going to be the album title, like that got put on my heart like 2 years ago, you know, because I never want to box myself in, and God is showing me that it's more layers to me, like and I guess it's more to come, and that's what this video showed me, that I can be the videographer, the editor, the rapper, and it's just a wonderful thing when you let God use you. Stop fighting your gift. A lot of people do that. A lot of people fight their gift. They let other people dictate who they are.
But you are quintessentially my quote. It's never too late to remix your life. You know, and that's what you're doing. You said, and I know for those of you that don't know Will's full story when he talks about music, you guys got to catch out the repeat on Shine with Kendell Lenice, the podcast, and he talks about that. He talks about how he did music, then he stopped and, you know, did other things and picked it back up. So you really want to hear his story in on the podcast too, because I know, and I'll definitely have you back too, so I can kind of fill in the gap if people listen to the podcast and watch this. So let's talk about these lyrics. How long ago did you, from one writer to another, you already know. So how, like, when did you come up with these lyrics, and what made you decide to want to bridge that gap, as you were talking about, to let people know that, you know, I've been here, but now I'm here and I'm still a regular person and I've been resurrected?
So New Psalmist has a revival called Fresh Fire. And that's when I wrote the song. I think it might have been Fresh Fire 2. Charles Booth was there. He preached one night. Bishop Morton preached one night. So it's a 3-day thing. And then I think the third person was it Marvin Sapp? I think it was Marvin Sapp. They all preached, and I pulled something from each one of the days that they preached. And I came up with that song because I was at my lowest point in my life. But I was coming up, and like I saw the progression that I was making. Like God was like, you know what? Like, I'm not going to let you fail your marriage. I'm not going to let you fail your children and your wife. You know, so that's where resurrection comes from. And then he gave me this, like, so I get a lot of my beats online, and I'm telling you, sometimes God will say, hey, go to this site and just listen to this producer and listen. And I heard that beat, and when I heard that beat, I was like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And it just started, like, I love as an artist when stuff just starts to flow out, you know, there's really no thought behind it. And it was really not too much thought behind that song. As far as like just having to sit there and make sure this rhymes with this, stuff was just going together for that song.
Wow.
So that's how that went, man. And like I said, like, I choose certain beats because I don't want people to, I don't just want to be just your normal, just, you know, when people hear Christian artists or Christian song, they think that we can't beat the speakers up. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like,
Come on.
I'm like, nah, man.
Right.
Like, I got some beats. If you want to move, I got some beats. But it's just my
and I don't want to say this. I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but it's not churchy. It's not preachy. It's not churchy, but it's still positive. It's still, I don't know if you would call it Christian rap or spiritual rap or gospel rap, but it's not. It's just real. It's real and it's inspirational, and it's not. It's churchy. It's not.
And I didn't want it to be, because like I said before, I feel like I'm the guy I'm one of the guys who will bridge the streets to the church. And like, I love trap beats. You know what I mean? Those
Yeah.
beats that bang. You
Yeah.
know, we love, come on, man, we love bass.
Yeah.
Come on. We came
Yeah.
from, cars ride by with the booming system. You know, we
Come
came
on.
up on that.
Come
We don't
on.
lose that all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We don't lose that when we get older. You know what I mean? We still
That's
like that
true.
stuff.
Or if you get more connected with God, and I think that that's a great point. Like you don't change who you were, or your taste buds don't change, or you can't forget the lyrics because now you're saved. Like you know the lyrics, you know the beat, you remember the song, and it is, whether people like it or not, it still is an influence in your art.
Yeah, it is. One of the biggest lies that the devil tries to use is that once you become a Christian or once you are married, things just change. It gets boring. No way. No way. That it does not have to be that way. Me and my wife still have fun. I still go to the studio, and I still pick like the same type of beats that bangers. I pick banging beats. You know,
That's right.
I'm always gonna love those type of beats. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty much I'm probably always gonna be relevant because I just like God just gave me a gift, and I thought the gift would go away once I got to a certain age, but it has not. It has grown more, and there's more context inside of it's more conscious. You know, I watch what I say because I understand that it's power when you have that mic in your hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's power when you have that mic in your hand.
Yeah, that one mic. All I need is one mic. But but it's so true. And Will, I mean, I'm thinking about this as you're speaking. So you'll get to see Will at every stage in pretty much the different angles. If you listen to my podcast, if you watch him on the men's forum, and he did my talk show, The Safety Net, where he was talking about being unemployed as a father and as a husband, and what that does, and the support that he had of other men. So you get to see him on all of those platforms, and that's right here on YouTube too. So while you're listening to this or watching this, you can go look at Will's episode of The Safety Net, which is right here on YouTube, as well as that men's forum. And then the podcast Shine with Kendell Lenice. But and then this is just, I mean, it's showing you in so many lights, and I think it's so important, as you said, you know, being from the streets and you're in the church and you love God and you love your family, you love your wife, and that whole balance. How are you able to balance all of this?
Yeah. So first of all, I want to thank you because I was on your show right after I got my job where I was unemployed for 3.5 years. And now I'm just progressing like on your channel, like you just said. But as far as like just the dynamic of like handling all that stuff, man, first of all, it's all God. You know what I mean? It's always gonna be all God. But just have to be very mindful of your time. You know what I mean? I just can't say up and jump and say, you know what, I'm doing this, I'm leaving my family out of it. As long as I have my priorities where they're supposed to be, like God first, wife second, then family, then music, everything is balanced. But once I start putting something in front of something, like if I put the music in front of my wife, everything is all balanced, and I wouldn't be able to do this. You know what I mean? So it's about staying plugged in, staying connected with God. Him first. He's the most important relationship. Then it's my wife. Then it's my children. And then everything after that, you know, so that's how I do that. You know, nothing is more important than like music is probably like number 5, 6 down the line. Yeah. Maybe 7. Yeah.
But that's how you're going to be successful, because you know the correct order, you know, and you're not putting that above you, even though you love music and you're very good at it. You're not putting that above God and above your family. And then throughout this show, I'm hearing you know, you're giving glory to God. You're giving praise to God. You are lifting him in even your talent and your gifts and what you try to do. And you're making it clear, although I did it by myself physically, God was leading me here. He was leading me there. And I think that's really key. And I'm glad people are, if you're listening, you know, you can't do it without God. That's my opinion. That's Will's opinion. Now, if you believe something different, then it's no disrespect to you. But it is so important to make sure you have the right order in which you are doing things, and really know what you were born with and how gifted you are and your abilities. And throughout life, I know things happen and people start losing sight of who they are and their gifts, and they get unsure about the things that they want to do and are able to do. But if you still have breath in your body, I would just challenge you to at least try, because you never know what you can do. Right, Will?
Yeah.
Deizal?
You know, one of the realest things you told me, this came from your mouth. You said you should always give your gift or something that you love an hour a day. You said that to me.
Wow.
You said that. Yep. And I take that with me, and I give that to other people, because, man, there's so many people who have gifts, but because they feel like they don't have time, they say, you know what, I just don't have time, and that gift is just sitting there, and they find themselves unhappy. They find themselves unhappy. They are. So, like, you gave that to me, and I gave it to other people, and, man, so thank you for that, because that's one of the realest things that you can tell a person, because we're all gifted. We all, like, God, when God created the earth in 6 days, he didn't stop. He didn't finish creation. He just created this place where we could be creative. You know what I mean? Where we can create a cell phone and create a car, all these different things that we could do inside of God's creation. You know what I mean? So with him doing that, that means that when he says he molded you in the womb and he knew who you were, that means he gave you a special gift. You are the only person who can handle the gift that he gave you. You are.
Come on. And I don't even remember telling you that. I'm glad I told you that because it is true. You know, I believe it, because to me, when God grants you, you know, this gift, it really is a gift. And it's almost disrespectful when you don't utilize your gift and you don't know why he gave you that gift. It could be to help heal other people or to help heal yourself or anything. So I think that it's important for people to recognize their gifts. And even as a life coach, I try to help people, because so many people say, well, I'm not gifted, I'm not talented, God didn't give it to me. And I'm like, what can you do effortlessly? What can you do? What do you love to do if no one gave you 2 nickels? What would you love to do? Because I love helping people try to discover their gifts. And it really makes me sad when I talk to people, and it's several people, you know, people that I coach when I go speak, that say they don't have gifts. But I challenge everybody to really just search. You know, you might not get your gift at 12, at 21, at 31, at 45, but you will get your gift. It's not a certain time, but you just got to be able to recognize it, and you got to be able to put the time in to cultivate it and use that gift to give to others. So as we wind down, how important is it for you to give your gift?
It's so important, because, like you said, your gift is actually for someone else. It's not for you. You know, when you have like these entertainers that, let's say, if you ever heard you know, Marvin Sapp or Whitney Houston or one of these people sing, and it hits you in your core and you never forget it, it could just change it. It could just change everything. You know what I mean? Your gift is never for you. It's always for someone else. Always for someone else. The gift of Christ, when he gave his life, he didn't give it for himself. He gave it so we can have, all these trillions and trillions of people can have salvation. And that's how it is with any gift that you have. It's never going to be for you. It's always for someone else. And a lot of people think that their gift isn't good enough. But we're talking about a God that left the 99 sheep to go get the one. So what is that telling you? That's telling you that we are all special. Every single last one of us. Jesus talks about stuff like doves, how God loves doves, and no dove dies that he doesn't know about. And he knows he knows the count of hairs on your head and all these different things that he knows. How special are you? I'm here to let people know that they're special. People are special. Your gift is for someone else. You will build someone. You never want to get to heaven. You don't want to get to heaven. And God says to you, hey, I gave you this gift, and you could have saved this person's life just with your words, something I already gave to you.
Come on.
And you just let that person walk by. So how you going to explain that to the creator of all things, that you thought that your gift wasn't sufficient enough, but he's telling you that it was, you could have saved this person's life.
Come on, let me get my collection plate. Hold up, wait. Let me pass the plate. Come on now, come on. You better speak on it. It's true. Yeah, you tell the truth.
Yep. One of the last things that one of my guys told me, he said, Will, and this is Brother Corey, man. I see the group that I'm in. This group that I'm in, it's just built me up. That's why I wear these guys' t-shirts for no fee. Like they'll never have to pay me anything. Suppose I get 1 trillion views, they'll never have to pay me for anything, because I feel like they have helped grow me into who I am today.
I love it.
One of the things that he said was, Will, don't worry about the views. You can have 1 million views, but if those views don't mean anything, then who cares? But if you have if you have one view that changed a person's life,
come on,
that's all you need.
It's true.
That's all you need.
One person. You can get one reply, and that could change that person from committing suicide, from taking drugs, from drinking, from reckless behavior, from talking negative to themselves, anything. Like if your words can change. I'm on TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. And I love TikTok. I do a lot of different things on TikTok. But it was a young girl in Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And she just was like, can you please give me a shout out? That video, it didn't have that many views. It wasn't like a popular video. I don't even know what I was doing. But when I saw that, and I said, okay, let me see who this is. Mm-hmm. And this was a little girl, and she was in Jamaica, and she was singing and dancing on there. So I did a special video for her, just like, I'm giving you your shout out. I just want to inspire you, encourage you, blah, blah, blah. I said whatever. And somebody else came back and was like, that was really nice that you did that for her. And it wasn't a second, like, I didn't even think about it. I was like, and look, I had my headscarf on, everything. I was going to bed, but I said I didn't want to go on the next day without with forgetting and not doing that. Because something as simple as that I could give someone, I don't know what that did to her. Never talked to her again. But if that helped her and gave her hope, or you never know how you can touch someone. So when it's time to move and God has given you gifts, you got to move. And if somebody is asking something of you or not asking, but that's what they need, then I think it's our job to provide that.
It is. So it's one scripture. I forgot the I think it's out of Ephesians. I know it's Paul. He says, we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, for God loves a cheerful giver. You know what I mean? You should always give just out of the kindness of your heart. You did that out of the kindness of your heart. And who knows? Who knows? Like you should just always give. It should never be what you can get back in return.
Never. Because I never checked back even to see if she saw it, did she respond? Because that wasn't important. It was important for me to be obedient and do that. Now, whether she's seen it that night, 5 days later, she's seen it. And that's all that mattered to me. I don't need a thank you. I don't need nothing else. And that's all I needed. But Will, I can sit here and talk to you all day. You definitely got to come back because you talking. I think this is the most talkative you've been.
Yeah. I'm good at talking about God and what he's done for me. Like I can go on all day. I really can. I'm a guy from Park Heights a lot. Like 2 of my brothers are gone. You know what I mean?
And that's Baltimore. He's talking about Park Heights, Baltimore.
And we made it out, and I'm here now. I was told by a teacher, do not be a statistic. And that I probably won't make it past 18.
Wow. How old are you? How old? Tell them how old you are.
I'm 42 now with 3 kids, and I have a son that's 19. You know what I mean? So I thank God for everything. I don't want any of the glory because he says it himself. If you want the glory, that's going to be the only glory you get. You know what I mean? I don't want the glory. I just want to give it all to him, and hopefully I can help someone just get better. That's all I want.
That song, Dad, to give it all away. I keep hearing songs. First I heard Won't He Do It? And then just to give it all away. I keep hearing so many different songs as you're saying that, and the songs are just speaking to me because you ain't saying nothing but the truth. And Everybody, you know, this is Swann. He goes by the name of Deizal. I'll let him tell you how you can follow him on social media and how you can see this video that we're talking about. But before I do that, I just want to encourage everyone to live your life out loud. You know, make sure you have God as your staple and live your life. Live your abundant life. Don't wait for anybody to give you anything. If it's something that you want to do out there, you have to do the work. You have to put in the work. Then when other people see you putting in the work, they will be more willing to assist you. But if you keep saying that you have a dream, or if there's something that you want to do and you sitting on your hind parts and you're not doing anything, and you're not being a part of your own rescue or helping further whatever you need to be pushed along, then nobody is going to be willing to invest in you and to help you. But now with Will, and he's doing this himself, somebody might come along and say, you know what? You did this by yourself. This is what I want to do to back you. This is what I want to do to support you. I want to pour this money into you, because he believes in himself. Even when he was doubtful, even when he knew that he's never done this before, or he doesn't know if he can do this, or he's never edited, he's never tried to make a video before, he never did any of this, but he had the will, and God told him he can do it. So he tried to do it, and the outcome was amazing. And your outcome can be amazing too. You just have to do it, right?
Yes, ma'am. So I do want to shout out my little brother. He shot his own video, and it kind of gave me that push to go shoot my own video, you know, which was cool. But this is the baby who did this. But you can catch me on Instagram. It's willfit_Deizal443. YouTube, my channel is William Swann. The name of the video is Deizal Nuncio Resurrection. And let me see, Twitter, I'm Deizal443, and Facebook, I'm William Swann. So it's, you know, so it's either Will Swann or Deizal443. Will Swann.
And I'll have everything for you as well on this video. But Will, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, thank you for having me, man, because it's so important for people like you to give us a stage, because especially here in Maryland is, well, I'm going to say Baltimore, is typically you don't get people who will back you no matter what, you know. So I really appreciate you for giving me the stage, even if it's just one person to touch. I appreciate you. And I will come, you know, forever, I'm with you. You know, whatever you want to do, I'm with you. Because when I was at my lowest, you were steady trying to build me. And I appreciate it. I didn't have anything to give you but a story. You know what I mean? Nothing but a story. That's all I had. I didn't have money. I didn't have a whole bunch of followers. So if something happened for me, something will happen for you, because it's just who you are. I appreciate you.
You got me tearing up. I'm not, whoa. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I see the light in you. Like the very first time I met you, I seen the light in you. And I seen, this making me emotional. And I seen the God in you. And I seen how you loved your family. And I wanted to showcase that. You know, and it's important for me to showcase things like that, because as Black men, y'all get a bad rap, you know, and I think it's so important to say, you know, and bust the stereotype. Like, I wasn't trying to get with you, you wasn't trying to get with me. It was a love, it was a family type of vibe. And I think people got to realize that you can genuinely have love for somebody and want to help people and want to spotlight them because of who they are, and you want nothing in return. So, and that's how I felt, and that's how I will continue to feel about you. I will continue to support you as well, and ride for you, and help you in any way that I can, for people to see that this man of God, this man who loves his wife and children, you know, a man who was here and now he's here and he's making progress. And he's growing as a man. You know, that's what I'm about, and that's what this show is about. So thank you. I didn't know I was gonna cry. Good grief.
That's a virtual hug. Right. But thank you
you everybody for tuning in, and do me a favor, let him get 1 million views, 2 million views, 3 million views, because it's positivity at its finest, and it's something visual to look at, the art, the lyrics. I mean, it is dope, and I'm not going to even say anymore because I already told you how much I like that video, and you will like it as well. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in to, I was going to say Shine, Kendell Lenice Live right here on YouTube. Do me a favor and subscribe below. It's so important that you do that and hit the notification button, so when great content like this comes up on my page and on your feed, you're able to see it. Remember, you are a star, so don't allow anyone to dim your shine. Until next time, God bless. Peace.
Hey, beautiful Shaniqua. I was on my way to bed and I saw your message, so I wanted to give you a quick shout out. I want you to keep shining as bright as you can. Don't allow anyone to dim your shine. Black Girl Magic.